Hey guys, it's me again at I'm not allowed to say the name, at the golf place on I Drive, or near I Drive. That's another thing I was instructed. This is the TED Show on April 16th, 2019. I am here with my beautiful friend, Kynse Leigh. Kynse.
Hi, how are you?
And my handsome, old friend, Dave Fraser. Did I say it right?
You got it.
See? I always said Fraser growing up. I don't know what the problem is. My bad. That's all right. As long as nobody calls me Bogart, we're good. All right, so Kynse flew over today just to be on the TED Show.
I did.
To talk about organ donation. It's Organ Donation Month, Awareness Month. Hey, Colleen. And so they are both recipients and alive and survivors and have great stories to tell. David was one of my first guests originally on the TED Show. We got him all choked up then. Let's see if we can get him choked up again. We should totally cry. You can't see me crying. Oh, look, that's all right. All right, so welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you guys.
Thank you for having us.
I'm really smiling. All right, so everybody likes an origin story, the story before organ donation changed your life. So give us a little bit. We'll start with Kynse.
Okay, so I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when I was 10 years old, and that turned into kidney failure within 27 years. I was placed on the transplant list for both a kidney and a pancreas. And
why a pancreas?
Because type 1 diabetes. So if you're a type 1 diabetic, your pancreas does not produce insulin. And one of the common effects of type 1 diabetes is kidney failure. So if you're a type 1 diabetic that has kidney failure, oftentimes they not only just transplant a kidney, but they transplant both a kidney and a pancreas. And so August 31st of 2017, I was blessed with the gift of life from a 15-year-old boy that made the decision to be an organ donor, and I bring him with me wherever I go.
Oh, I love that. You are going to make me cry.
This is Elijah, and Elijah passed away, and in his passing, he had already told his family that should he pass away, that he would like to donate his organs. And so, not only did he save my life when he passed, he also saved 5 others.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Oh my God. All right, David, you tell your story. Kynse, that's beautiful. And I have a lot of questions to ask you.
Yeah.
I want David to tell his story, and then we'll ask the questions and talk more.
Perfect. Well, a lot of people saw me last time I was on here, so I'm gonna go with, I'm gonna give you the recap version. I was diagnosed in 2009 with liver disease, and they had hoped the liver would regenerate, but it did not. So I was put on the list to be transplanted in April of 2010. I look at the days of my life that are huge, and one would be August 30th, 2010. That's when the doctors discharged me from the hospital and said, "Go home, you're pretty sick." And I said, "Well, that makes no sense." And they're like, "Yeah, you have 30 days to live. If you don't get a transplant next 30 days, you're gonna die. So go home and get your house in order." So I think that was one of those defining moment days in my life. Okay. And one of the crazy things about liver disease is it reverses your body clock. So I went up all night, every night. I could not sleep during the day. You couldn't sleep at night, and I was up all day. I was up online one night, and I was talking to Kelly Sue Stonebreaker, who's a part of this group as well. And Kelly Sue was chatting with me at 1:30 in the morning, and I asked her what she was doing up, and she said she was at the hospital. And she was visiting a friend. I said, okay, great. And we talked about my being listed. And next day, normal day, got up, went to the office, and did the normal things. My wife called and said, get home, we got the call. Which was the first day it really hit me that this is real. And went to and saw my kids, gave them a kiss goodbye, and my mom took them off and went by our church and got a blessing. And got in the hospital. And he got in the hospital at 5 o'clock. And about 10 o'clock that night, my surgeon came in and said, here's what's going to happen. We're going to do the transplant tomorrow morning if the organs are viable. We'll do it tomorrow morning about 8 o'clock. And he got through his whole spiel and goes, so you know you're donor. And I'm like, no, I don't. And we talked for a little bit, and he goes, yes, you do. Well, it wound up being one of Kelly Sue's best friend's husbands is where I got the organ from. And had she not known, Kelly Sue not known what I was in need of,
Right.
I may never gotten this transplant because at that time my donor was not listed to be an organ donor.
Wow.
So we'll talk about that when we go on a little more. Because it's, without that knowledge of me being on Facebook at 1:30 in the morning, there's a chance I might not be sitting here.
I distinctly remember, and I can tell this story because I have glasses on, sunglasses, you called me to the hospital. You said, you have to come visit me. Of course, I wanted to, but that was like a goodbye visit, right? You don't know going into it because literally without a transplant, David would not be here today. Same with Kynse. And so if you're in it, if you've experienced it, if you're on a list, or if you're even considering why you are or are not a donor, this is definitely something you have to hear them say how it saved their lives. Because David eventually met somebody. You met your donor. You met your donor's family. All right. So you have the operation. And it's successful.
Right.
You have to have two, Kynse, right?
Well, I have
2 organs.
2 organs on the same day.
2 organs on the same day. So remember, guys, it's not just like a regular procedure. The body has to accept them, and I'll let them tell their story about how the rest of their lives they're on anti-rejection medicine. I mean, there's a whole different lifestyle change even after you have the transplant. So tell them a little bit about what you went through, Kynse.
Well, my story's a little bit different than most. Obviously, David had a direct connection with his organ donor's family. Most people don't get the opportunity to meet their donor's family that quickly. And my organ donor's mother, Nikki, who is absolutely amazing, we actually found each other on Facebook.
Wow.
We had a lot of, we don't really think anything's weird, but there was a lot in common, and she ended up reaching out to me on Facebook 3 days after my surgery, and so we've become very, very close. She lives in Tampa, and I live in Fort Myers. I go to see her every possible moment that I can. Her daughters are, we can't really figure out, we're like sisters, are you mom? Because all of our ages are so similar. But we just had an immediate connection, and we actually started a nonprofit organization called Don't Bury Good Organs, and our foundation is now just about 6 months old, and we've been doing a lot of events to assist in raising funds for organ transplant recipients, travel expenses, medication expenses, but number one, to raise awareness for the importance of being a donor. There's currently 116,000 people that are awaiting an organ transplant, and on average 21 people pass away every single day while waiting. So I'm blessed to be sitting next to David after really meeting in a Facebook group for realtors, and knowing that while I was waiting for my transplants, David had reached out to me, and he immediately friended me and, was there with me 100% of the way while I was awaiting my transplants. And so just knowing that there are so many amazing people out there and that their lives were also saved because of organ donation is an absolute miracle. It's amazing.
I think what's interesting, so 116,000 people are on the list to receive a transplant. To me, if you ask anybody, they say they're an organ donor, and I'm thinking, well, how could there still be 116,000 people on the list? If you guys say you're an organ donor and you're not, we're going to send you the information on how you can really sign up.
Yeah.
because I think a lot of people say that, but people don't like to go there in their head, right? Because then they have to imagine themselves gone. You're not gonna know anything, so it's gonna be you're gonna be okay. Trust me. Your family though can come in, even if you're an organ donor. Talk about, maybe David can share some light, shed some light on this. Let's say you put it on your license or wherever you check. You go into a group and you say you're an organ donor. Does that guarantee that the organs get to somebody?
No.
Okay, so talk a little bit about why.
Well, your driver's license has it on there, but they will actually go and they'll ask the next of kin for verification of that.
Right.
Now, if you're registered in the National Registry, which will give the registration is donatelife.org.
Right.
You can go to register there. If you're on the National Registry, that is giving your intention, your wishes. And that's what my biggest thing right now is. We'll get back to meeting my donors in a second because that's an amazing story.
Yeah,
as well.
that's an awesome story.
And I didn't finish mine. I got sidetracked.
I'm sorry, no, it's okay. We still have time.
It's the program.
It's your show. It's organ
It's
donation.
the program brain.
We're gonna blame it on the anti-rejection meds.
But the key, my biggest push for talking to people now is I have so many friends that say, I'm an organ donor, it's on my driver's license, yes, I'm a donor. My question to you is, does your family know? Do your friends know what your wishes are? And that's the biggest point is I think you really need to take a couple seconds and think. Nobody wants to think about something bad happening to them.
No.
Right.
Nobody wants to think about getting in a traffic accident or having a swimming accident or whatever and the end of life. But think of it from a different perspective, and that is you're doing your family or your friends a service by letting them know what your thoughts are.
Right.
Because if you don't, then they have to go through the process of I wonder what Ted wanted. I wonder what he was thinking.
And they're already emotionally wrecked at that point.
It's a huge emotional time. So if you actually if you relay that message to people, and my kids are all registered to be organ donors. My last week or week, I think it was April 7th. There was a young man that went to Pine Castle Christian that was in a motorcycle accident, and his name is Jason Cooper, and he let his family.
Jason's dad's on, by the way, colleagues.
Hi, Jason, and I've sent messages. I hope you know how much you're thought of, appreciated, and prayed for. But his wishes were known by his parents, and because of Jason's gift, 6 people now are living and having a better life.
Right.
And that's because that his intentions were known. My biggest push is let your family know what's going on, what your thoughts are, because that's the biggest thing.
It's so easy. You just tell them. Literally, you don't have to sign anything. You've already signed it.
Yeah.
Just tell them what your wishes are.
It's very easy. So even my donor Elijah, who was only 15 when he passed, he was getting ready to get his driver's permit. So his family was having the conversation. He came out of his room and he said to his mom, and this will make you guys smile. He comes out of his room and he says to his mom, "Mom, they can have everything. They can have everything except my great big penis. I am gonna keep that to myself."
I wasn't really sure where we were going.
I didn't know where we were going with that. But
beforehand, I'm like, here it comes.
Oh, there's that cocktail. There you go. But
Hello.
so his family knew. It may have been a laughing, a joking matter, but he made it a point that take everything except my penis, unless someone has a really small penis and they need a bigger one.
And
then
that's why they have
it.
a sense of humor.
Right?
Here we go.
So.
So you met your. I want to get to David's your donor story, but you donor's family. You met them.
I met my donor's family for the first time 2 weeks after my organ transplant, and we met at a Starbucks. And the video is on YouTube and on Facebook at Kynse's Kidney Pancreas Transplant Journey. And then his memorial service. Myself and my son actually, we attended his memorial service, which had to be one of the most difficult days of my life. I have just been given the greatest gift in the entire world, and I'm surrounded by my donors' best friends, girlfriends, several. They all stood up and when they asked about the girlfriends. I was like, oh, it might be a lot like me with my boyfriends. You know, but to be around all of those people so soon, I think that I'm very, very blessed and very lucky to be able to be such a big part of their lives. And to know, you know, we're from the same small town in Illinois. What are the chances?
Listen,
my aunt.
not chances.
Not
I get it.
chances. Yeah, that's why we say nothing's crazy.
Nothing.
My aunt met Nikki, who's Elijah's mother's uncle, at a high school reunion years and years and years ago. There's just so many similarities, and you know, when we really truly think about, I would have to say God's purpose was to bring us together to help save more lives through the foundation that we created together. If I were to count how many people we've registered to be organ donors since this whole thing started, it's in the thousands,
Wow.
thousands upon thousands. And I also now volunteer with LifeLink of Florida, so I do speeches on behalf of them. I just accepted the proclamation of Donate Life Month for the city of Fort Myers from the
Nice.
mayor.
Oh,
And
that's so fun.
if anyone is in Fort Myers, Florida on Friday, April 26th, both myself and my organ donor's mother will be throwing the first pitch at the Miracles game for the Night of Life.
I would literally cry.
I cry a lot.
Okay, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, like, all right, David, tell us about
Yeah.
your meeting.
Well, like I said, I didn't know my donor, but I knew of my donor from Kelly Sue, and I totally understand why it is an anonymous thing. For the most part, it's anonymous. So you don't know who your donor is. Donors don't know, where they're receiving their organs from. I did because it was a directed donation, but I still couldn't go to them. I knew who they were, but I couldn't go to them and knock on the door and tell them how appreciative I was.
Sure.
So I sent a couple cards and pictures and things along those lines, expressing the gratitude. I might have broke the
Not David.
yeah, I mean, but I did that and I waited. I wanted to go knock on the door every anniversary. I wanted to go knock on the door and say thank you. But I didn't, out of respect for my donor's family. And it was the first week in December 5 years ago, when I opened up, I got a card in my mailbox, and I looked at the return address, and I knew the return address. It was my donor's family's home, and I'm like, what's going on? And I opened it up, and it was a long letter from my donor's wife that said, this is from me. I wanted to reach out to you now. It took me a long time, and she wanted to explain. And she said, when this happened, my donor was not registered to be a donor. I was angry. My donor's wife was angry. The love of her life. She had immigrated to the United States, and the love of her life was dying in front of her, and they're asking to help somebody else and didn't want to. But her, at the time, 15-year-old daughter talked her into donating. And she'll be home from college in 2 weeks for Christmas.
I love that.
And she's I really think it'd be great for Christmas, and during Christmas break if we met. And we met 2 weeks later over Christmas break.
What was that like?
It was so, talk about you walk in the door, and she invited us to her house, and we walked in the door and it was immediate tears.
How could you not?
And immediate hugs, and like we had known each other for a long, long time. And we
Because
sat
that
there.
person's
Selflessness, yeah.
saved your life.
Absolutely.
And so I would want to hug them and cry
Oh, yeah.
all day long. And you are appreciative. So you
And
go in.
It's great. We sat and talked for probably 3 to 4 hours. And just
Exactly how I was.
just learned about, I had the kids with me, and my donor's daughter was there, and we just talked and learned more about each other, and we've become friends. We're not as close as Kynse is with her family, and my donor's daughter's off at Oxford studying now.
Wow.
But we do see each other a couple times a year, and we still talk quite often. But it's amazing how close you become, and the bond between a donor and a recipient family.
Well, because there's a part of them, physical part of them,
Absolutely.
still here.
Absolutely.
And so that connection, I don't know how you don't have some sort of emotional, spiritual, depending on your spiritual beliefs. I mean, obviously I believe that they're somewhere else, but the physical part is still here. And the miracle is that they saved both of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's why, so when people talk about, go ahead, honey, I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say, my organ donor seems to be with me a little more than most because I have found likings to things that I never liked before.
I've heard about this.
Yeah, so I now love pickles. Would never put a pickle
And your
on my
organ
plate.
donor loved
Loved pickles.
I love that.
Yeah, his mother said that he could never keep a jar of pickles in the house.
Nice.
And I would not even let a pickle touch a French fry on my plate before. And now there are days I wake up, I'm like, please pass the pickles.
I love that.
Yeah.
There's a connection, like whatever your beliefs are, I don't know how you can't believe that there's some sort of connection when you have another living human being who was alive, their organs inside of you, and now it's saved your life. It's life changing, and I think a lot of people hear about it and they say, I want to do it, but then they don't know exactly what to do other than check the box. So what can people do to actually become today, and we'll share all the links later, but what can they do today to become an organ donor that actually is registered, that actually people see, that their families aren't stressing over? What can they do?
Well,
You touched on it earlier, but I think we need to stress it.
Well, I was going to stress one more thing also.
Please.
Is that you don't have to pass away to save someone's life through organ donation. You only need one kidney. I actually have 3. Little known fact, when you have kidney failure, they do not remove your old kidneys before giving you a new kidney.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Right.
Okay,
And
that's
this was actually brought up to me yesterday, and so someone asked me to touch on that topic. So I have three kidneys. The 2 in my back don't function anymore, and I've been rerouted through the kidney that's on the right-hand side of my stomach. I have 2 pancreases, and pancreas is placed at the top of my stomach instead of bottom left, where it usually is. Both are working amazing, but there are 100,000 people in the United States waiting for a kidney, and you can be a living kidney donor. So you only need 1 kidney to survive a beautiful and healthy life. And so if you're interested in being a living kidney donor, I have several people that are waiting for people to be tested. I've had 2 people reach out to me this morning, one yesterday and another this morning, that are now in kidney failure and need help promoting the fact that they are looking for a living kidney donor. And I know we're kind of real estate related here. One of the men is a RE/MAX realtor in Texas, type B blood type. So any Texas viewers out there can contact me direct if you would like to be tested to be his donor.
What is that? So I want to take a little bit of the fear away, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, if it's somebody you don't know, you've got to have that mindset of, all right, this is a very wonderful thing I'm going to do.
Right.
But what are the health risks? What are some of the things that people say to you, I can't do that because? And can you take away, because honestly, if you can live with 1 kidney, well, what if I need the second one? I've heard that before, right?
I've heard that also. Or what if my children have kidney issues? And there are so many answers to that question. I have a 10-year-old son. If my son didn't need a kidney, I'm 28 years older than my son. If my son needed a kidney when he was 30 years old, would he really want a 58-year-old kidney? or would he look for a kidney that was more his age range? I know several living kidney donors into surgery, out of surgery, on vacation in 3 to 4 weeks. And they've just saved lives. You've got Jenny
Swain and Andrea Webb come to mind.
And then Michelle Medelson, who's a local Fort Myers woman, and Shara Super, who's also a Remax agent, Fort Myers woman. So, and they're all wonderful advocates and people to talk to if you have fear of giving a little piece of yourself to save somebody else's
Is kidney
life.
the only living one?
No, liver as well.
You can give liver?
You need a partial liver. I don't think any place in Florida right now is doing. Mayo was. I don't think they're doing it anymore right now.
Tampa
Generalist now?
Generalist
There are some
now.
very strict, it's called UNOS guidelines, United Network of Organ Sharing. The guidelines are very strict on what they can do. But yeah, you can do a partial liver transplant because the liver actually, if it's not too damaged, regenerates. So you can actually take and give a portion of your liver and put it in somebody that's needing a liver transplant. Yours regenerates, and the portion you gave
I like that.
regrows.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I think one thing, touching on that about how many people are waiting. There's always these questions people have, and when I do a lot of talking about organ donation and registering, there's so many reasons why people say I'm not going to do it, I can't do it. And one of people, what if I need it, or what if what if I need it down the line? You are 10 times more likely to need a transplant than you are to ever donate.
Yep.
10 times more.
That's fascinating.
So so you're gonna have 10 times more likely that you're gonna be in a situation like I was, where you go, I need something, than you would ever be to donate.
Yeah, I never knew how important it really was until I was diagnosed with kidney failure at the hospital. And I always thought because I was a type 1 diabetic, they wouldn't want my organs. They wouldn't want to give them to someone else. And what I have learned is if your kidneys are working for you, if you have eyesight and your corneas are working for you, if your lungs are working for you, your heart, your liver, it'll work for somebody else. There was just a 93-year-old man that passed away, and his kidneys went to save 2 lives. 93 years old.
You
So
saved 2 lives.
Yeah.
I think people need to understand
You're
that
not too old.
You're not too old.
sick.
And I try to tell people this, which may not be the right way to do it, but I'm like, you're not going to care.
No.
Like, you're literally not here anymore. So why would it matter to you if they take your skin, your organs, your cornea, whatever you have to give? I hate spam callers. It's not going to make any difference to you. Trust me. You're not going to feel it. That's what a lot of people tell me. I don't know if I can handle that. You're not going to know. I don't know how to tell people.
I always tell people that heaven only needs your soul.
Yes.
I like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Heaven only needs
Heaven
your
only needs your soul. And even most religions say to give back everything that you possibly can. And
So that's one thing we get people say is always,
Yeah.
the church doesn't allow for it. That's not correct.
That's not
recognized religions
Religions.
have approved and said that organ donation is acceptable.
It's a good thing, and it's the right thing to do. All right, so we're going to share all of Kynse's contact information, all of David's contact information, everything about Donate Life, Don't Bury Good Organs, all of that stuff we talked about today. If you have questions, if your family has questions, even if it's the most simple question, they're going to help you. They're going to answer the question, I promise
just
you.
let me know if you have any questions.
We will we'll share all their contact information. All right, any parting words of wisdom for them? Anything you want to share before we head out?
Parting words of wisdom. If you were waiting for an organ, would you accept it if you're not a donor? If your children, one of your children, your brother, your sister, your mother, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, if they needed a life-saving organ transplant, would they accept it? Because, like David said, a lot of people don't want to be organ donors until they find out that they're in need.
Right.
So it's not just about you. Think about everybody else out there. And when you're dead, you're dead. Why not save some lives in the process?
Save the life. All right,
Save
David.
the lives.
How
Don't
about you?
bury good organs.
I'm just going to reiterate what I said before, and that's let your family know. You know, let your
Yeah.
family know what your wishes are. You know, if you're one of the folks that says I'm an organ donor, let your family know. That way, there's no issue there. They can know they're honoring their Hal.
Tell us about the owl.
Oh, yeah.
I totally forgot to introduce Hal. So this is Hal, and Hal's the owl on the prowl. And actually, Hal has his own Facebook page. It just happens that Hal showed up at my office the other day, and so I was supposed to take him on an adventure. And so today, and Hal stands for Help Others with Love, and he travels around the world to promote organ donation. So since he got on the plane with me this morning, I've seen pictures of him in Chicago at the Bean, in Thailand, in Paris. This owl gets around. So I was excited to be able to have Hal, the owl on the prowl, and our little Donate Life owl on the show. So
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. You guys are a blessing. We are blessed because of the things that people did for them. And now they're out here trying to be a blessing to you guys.
Guys.
We love you. We will see you back here soon. Thanks for tuning in. Donate. Don't bury good organs.
Bye, guys.
Mwah. We love you.